So Sue writes most of the emails
She
for our
does.
weekly, for the weekly newsletter. But today it is about you and how travel has changed you.
Yeah, and there's a personal connection for you here as well, because this is about when I was traveling with Jed. This is Kim's husband, many, many moons ago, almost 40 years ago.
And this is what we're talking about today on Dream, Travel, Share, Unpacked.
If you'd like to receive an email version of today's show, along with our weekly travel opportunities, click on the link below to join our mailing list. We promise to only send you one email a week every Friday. You can unsubscribe at any time, and we won't share your email address with anyone else.
So, Bob, travel can be transformative for anyone.
Yep.
But you've got this particular story. I'm anxious to hear about it.
Yeah, everybody's got travel stories, right? But this is, again, I was like 20 years old. It's a long time ago. And I was in Australia for a year. And so on our way down, I went with a bunch of buddies. And on our way down, we stopped at this place in Fiji called Beachcomber Island. And there were maybe a couple of beer involved in this thing, right? We stumbled off the boat. And I went up to the first native Fijian woman I saw. So this is a very black woman with hair out to here. And put my arms around her and said, "Oh, hi, Mummy, I'm home," right? And so this became the big joke while I was there. I called her Mummy, she called me Sonny, and this is all fine. So this is cool. So I leave like a week later. I work at the World's Fair in Brisbane in 1988. Jed, your husband, came down to meet me right after the World's Fair. We traveled the rest of Australia together. We go to New Zealand for 6 or 7 weeks, stop in Fiji on our way home. And I jump off the boat. And I get this tap on the shoulder, and it's my mother.
Oh.
Mary, her name is. So, and she taps me on the shoulder, says, "Oh, Sonny, you've come home." So this is like a year later. I imagine, all the silly, ridiculous tourists she's seen in the last million years. So this time it became very personal. So she introduced me to her family. She took me, this little island is like maybe the size of 2 football fields. It's not very big. And so she took me on a backstage tour where I got to see all the, where all the staff live and the guts of the operation and whatnot. So on my very last day, this is after being abroad for like a year. And on my very last day, she's wishing me off. She's sending me off. And she said, "Well, this is in very broken English, so this isn't exactly what she said, but here's what I heard." She said, "You go home and you work real hard so you can save your money and you can come back here for, 1 week a year." So, so to me, this was actually life-changing, because what I heard is that, okay, well, wait a second, these people live much simpler than we do. They don't have big homes and big cars and all the cheap consumer goods that we do. What they do is they live in paradise with their families, and they laugh and they sing with each other every single day. And so what I heard is that, okay, you go back to the rat race and do whatever you got to do so that you can come and live like us for 1 week a year. We'll be here the other 51 weeks as well.
I love it.
Yeah. So it stuck with me. And it's probably the reason that I'm sitting here with you today is largely because of Mary. And I'm actually getting a bit emotional just even thinking about it, because it actually is life-changing in the way that, okay, well, I wanted to do a lot more traveling after that. And then again, 10 years ago, Sue and I moved from being, world travelers ourselves into helping other people with these things. So it's funny how I can relate it all back to like this one sort of fulcrum almost 40 years ago.
That is such an amazing story. Thanks for sharing it. My husband's going to be blessed he was mentioned on this.
So that's my big story. How about you? What do you got?
And it's not from 40 years ago, but it might be from 14 months ago. And ironically, I think it is funny, because I'm actually going to bring up a story because I was traveling with your wife.
So you were traveling with my wife. I was traveling with your husband. It's all kind of inbred here at the Pampered Cruiser. Go figure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you know what? It is the Mekong. So if anybody ever needs to experience something amazing, it was a fantastic trip. But what really, really holds near and dear to my heart is we were with Amel Waterways, and we had tour guides. We had tour guide in Cambodia and a different tour guide in Vietnam. In fact, they switched all of the staff. But we were taken on a tour in the killing fields. And I'm sure lots of you remember that. And it was a horrific story. And our tour guide had lost aunts and uncles.
Wow.
So I cannot tell you how special we felt that we were with him, and we felt his emotion. It made our day. It made the tour just extra special. But it boils down to the people. he was so lovely and went through so much with his family.
Yeah.
And it was an experience because we were on a river cruise that I would never have before. So it's that was just off the top of my head. I have tons of stories like that, but this one will forever be in my memory and in my heart.
I've heard other people talk about the Mekong as being life-changing. So that's good. That's cool.
Yeah. Bob, what are we talking about on Dream Travel Share Unpacked next week?
Yeah, we're going to be talking about longer itineraries, so grand voyages, and why you might want to go away for more than 2 weeks, which the rest of the world's been doing for a long time, but we're just sort of discovering it post-pandemic. So that's what we'll be talking about next week.
Look forward to it.
We'll see you then. If you enjoyed this video blog, it really helps us when you like, or better yet, subscribe to our channel so that we know the best content to produce for you. If you want to book a cruise or packaged land vacation, then we'd love to help you out. We know the products and destinations very well, and we can always get you something not available on direct bookings. Our coordinates are in the notes below. Also, if you haven't signed up for our newsletter yet, you get 1 email a week every Friday with some commentary and some different deals that we're seeing in the marketplace. We don't share your information with anyone else, and if you decide it's not for you, then we're sorry to see you go, but there's an unsubscribe button at the bottom of every email. See you next time.